Hello, Buckeye fans, and welcome to the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaching Show. I'm Jeff Rash. I'm joined here with the head coach and athletic director, Mr. Alan Metzel. Alan, congratulations on another win.
Thank you, sir.
3-0.
We'll take it.
We'll take it all day long, right?
Yes,
a lot of
sir.
fun.
That's right.
We're going to talk a little bit about football today. We're going to talk about the game, obviously, that everybody got to watch this last week with Atlanta, and then we're going to talk about Lindale. But before we do that, I want to hit one other subject. One of the things that I noticed this week, there's a group of men that have been for years coming down on Friday mornings and feeding all the football players.
Yes,
kind
sir.
of a ministry. Most of the guys are from First Baptist Church there in Gilmer, where they allow them to cook in their kitchen. And so I had the pleasure to come down and help serve early in the morning before practice the other day. And one of the things that really has stood out to me for years about this program, after being around it for a while, but more so now than it seems like maybe even in years past, and I mentioned this to you Friday morning, but every single student, we fed 85 kids that morning, almost without fail. Every single young man that walked through that line was polite, respectful, yes sir, no sir. Every one of them thanked us profusely. I mean, and I know that you guys spend a lot of time on that. A lot of people don't realize that. They think football's just, we're teaching football, but you guys spend a lot of time down here teaching character traits. Y'all do a character trait of the week, I think, and those kind of things. An inordinate amount of time. I've listened to practices where you gather those guys up, and you're not just teaching them football, you're teaching them about life, about teamwork and commitment. So what's the secret formula there? How do you get 85 kids to that point? Because that doesn't all come from, everybody all comes from different environments.
Oh, absolutely.
They don't all have that being taught at home. What's the secret?
Well, the secret is, first of all, it's a number of things. For one thing, we are reaping the fruit of years of doing this. And so you've got kids that have grown up 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, where there's an expectation that these are things we do. And we're going to be grateful, we're going to be thankful, we're going to tell our teachers thank you, we're going to tell our ladies in the cafeteria thank you for the food, people feeding us on Friday. That's something that we're going to talk about to acknowledge that other people are taking care of us. Let's make sure we respond and reciprocate. When it comes to character, we're going to have, like we said, a character trait every week where we're hitting honesty or humility or being a champion, what that means, those kind of things. Because it truly is, football is a microcosm of life. And so we want to train these young men to be men and to be all that they can be. And it's not just about the game. It really isn't. The game is the methodology to teach what it means to be a man.
Yeah, and it hasn't changed since I was in sports years ago. You didn't get in trouble up at the school because you didn't want to have to pay the penalty down here. Right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of accountability.
There's a lot of accountability
That's right.
from all those coaches watching, and the teachers know that they can call a coach, that's that's a pretty effective.
Absolutely. Well, it's something we have something they want. They want to go out there and play.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gives us leverage, and that's a good thing.
One other thing you and I talked about, and I had a good conversation with him this last week, is the presence of Stump Godfrey down here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So everybody in town probably remember Stump, state championship quarterback, and has given his life to the Lord and come back here and has been very successful off in the working world, but he has dedicated his life to come back here and be around kids. He wants to be a difference maker.
That's right.
And he's been doing devotions for you, I know, before the
games.
games. And we talked about what an influence he is. It's one thing for some old guys, even coaches that the kids respect, but when Stump coming,
Mr. Football in the state of Texas.
Right, and he's still young.
He's the LeBron for Gilmer.
Yeah,
he is.
He is.
He's a special guy, and has earned that status.
Yeah.
And now he's giving and investing into these kids. And
what are you saying? What benefits are you reaping from that, him being his presence?
Well, there's a validation. When he stands in front of the guys and says, "Hey, man, we ran this play," and he starts talking about a specific game and his read, and well, then what are you going to do? Say, well, that play won't work, or oh, that's not the way we ought to do it. He has done it at the highest level and been successful.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, it's one of the things. I obviously have a son, Braden, down here in this program, and I've waited years for him to be in this program. I mean, before Braden was ever born, I was involved with the program, and just so I've waited his entire life for him to get here because of the development that just takes it to that next level. Because they're not hearing it from just dad.
Right.
When you hear it from dad and mom, you're like, at some point, it's
right.
dad,
But it gets confirmed here, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
We want to be confirming what parents are teaching their kids.
Yeah.
And so we're just coming up alongside the family to continue what's already been laid.
Takes a village.
That's right.
Let's talk some football.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Friday night you set a record, a new school record, 764 yards of total offense. I think the question on everybody's mind is, why not 800, Alan? Why would you pull up? Why winners go to that? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I had guessed it at 800 yards. Mark Skinner was out Friday night, unfortunately, because I would have loved to have seen all those stats live. I guessed it at 800. It was 764.
Well, the thing that I was really pleased with was guys made plays. That's the deal. And wherever you are on the field, you've got to make a play. And a lot of guys the other night touched the ball and made plays when it was in their hands. And that's what we preach. And whoever it was, if it was the next guy coming in, he made plays. And the next guy came in, and he made plays. Well, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Every kid on the team, whatever their role is, they're expected to make a play.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys did that.
Yeah, I would say so. 764 total yards of offense. Now, that beats the record. That's the new school record. The old one was like 697 or somewhere in that range, I think. So I have Jeff Traylor's number. Would you like to call and rub that in? We could do that right now on the show. I think a lot of people would like to see that.
I think
the conversation. Are you sure?
I think I'm
If you reconsider before we get done, let me know, and we'll dial him up and do that.
Pretty fired up about his win
Well, I was fixing
yesterday.
to go there next.
Yes.
He wouldn't
Really
care because he
up.
got his first win. So
that's awesome.
I was excited in overtime. So
Yes.
Jeff's doing great where he's
Yes.
at. We're very proud of what he's done. So why don't you tell us what you saw that we always start with what you liked. There was a lot to like,
right?
But what did you see that you were impressed with that I guess the guys have improved on?
Right, right. Well, we limited some of the mistakes we'd been making. We improved in that area. We still want to continue to clean up some of our turnover issues, that sort of thing. But I'm sticking on your point of what did we like. I like seeing the number of guys make plays. That's important. We don't want it to be where an opponent can look and go, okay, we've got to take away this guy and this guy, and now we can shut them down. Well, when you're spreading it all over the field,
weapons
guys
everywhere.
are making it, well, that puts pressure on them. For the defense, I love seeing some of the hits, some of the physicality that you saw. We picked off 2 passes. That was big. So, if we'll continue to be opportunistic on the defensive side, that's going to give us more opportunities to go make big plays.
Yeah, defense has played extremely well.
Yeah.
I thought the offensive line played extremely well this week.
Yes.
A lot of good things going on up front up there. Gave Brandon Tennyson
plenty
of time.
They did.
In fact, he's now in 3 games broken 2 records for total yards in a game. Total yardage, passing and running yards.
He's doing a phenomenal job.
He's literally owns 2 of the top 10 records now after 3 games. So we're looking for good things, obviously, for him to continue. But the thing that stood out to me was the number of weapons that's on the field. When you look out there and you go, who are you going to throw it to? I mean, who are you going to cover if you're a defense? Because you've got this ridiculous talent. And then you guys will flip the receivers. You'll pull them out and put it in the second. And you're like, now who are they going to throw it to? I mean, they're everywhere.
I think we had 14 different people carry the ball the other night, whether it was running or catching a pass or so forth. And that's something as a coach that you're proud of.
Yeah. How about Ward?
Oh, Jared came in.
Jared comes in late in the game and looks like Emmitt Smith running down the field.
He looked good. He's a strong young man. He's got a lot of quickness. So it was exciting to see him have some success.
Well, it would take forever to go through all the good things we saw in that game. They just executed well. And I said this earlier. We walked in with their football team, and they're a big physical football team. I told you a while ago, they're probably the best 0-3 team out there.
Very talented. And I told you last week, they have the ability to make big plays, and you saw that. Caleb Hamilton, the running back, and then Dickerson, the quarterback. Yeah. Man, I mean, those guys are hard to get your hands on.
And he's a sophomore.
Correct.
Dickerson. I mean,
very talented. He'll be a handful for the next 2 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this. Y'all were tied at the all-time series. It was 26-26, and so that puts the Buckeyes over the top.
I'm glad that we
And
took
the last
care of
time
that.
Atlanta's beat the Buckeyes was 2003.
I was there.
Yeah, I was there.
I remember.
I do too. I still remember those big guys coming through the line.
No doubt.
What did you see you didn't like? I mean, obviously it was a good game, but what did you see we need to continue to
well,
work on?
we several times we'd stop them, 3 and out or whatever, and then twice we mishandled punts. And I feel confident with the guys we have. We just got to keep getting reps and make sure we feel
Well, they're just aggressive.
Correct.
They want to get the ball.
Correct, which I like.
Yeah.
And we communicated that on the sideline. And when you feel like you've got the right people, then it's, like I said, it's just repping it. It's letting them know we have faith in you. Yeah. Move up on the ball. Put your body under the ball. That was several times, the 2 times. One, it was too far out. One, it was to our side.
Yeah.
So it's just about positioning and fielding that thing. And that's going to be huge. And then there were a couple times where we lost eye discipline in the secondary when Dickerson started to scramble and we came off a guy and then he threw it over us. So we're wanting to clean those things up. And then, like I mentioned, the 2 turnovers on offense that we want to eliminate those.
Well, if you've never caught a punt, you should go outside and have somebody punt to you.
Yeah.
And outside at night in the lights and watch that ball
and
swirl.
People get all around you.
And people are running.
Yeah.
You hear footsteps coming at you, and you're looking straight up,
It's
completely vulnerable. It's hard. It's one of the hardest things to do in football. It really is.
You got to have a little swagger to do it.
Yeah, you do. You really do. So let's look at a few plays from this last game, then we'll move on and talk about Lindale. This first one we're going to look at is early in the game. This is Jaden Griffin, who had an outstanding game. This is a catch and run for
big
early score.
Yes, it was the second play of the game. You're going to see right here, we're going to send Davion, our running back, out into the flats in motion, and then you're going to see how that affects 3 of their guys. They start running for him, which leaves an opening there in the middle. So Brandon turns back, hits Jaden, and he takes it down into, inside the red zone there. Big play. To me, that was a tone setter right there at the first of the game. So
big play.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
And then this next one is going to be a defensive play. And we got a couple of clips on defense we're going to look at here. But this is Luke Watson, who had an outstanding game.
He did.
He had some key. And again, those 2 backs, 4 and 5.
Very talented.
I mean, slippery.
Right.
They're not very big guys, but they're super quick.
Exactly.
And so they're hard to get a hand on. Mm-hmm. And they did a good job, I thought, of containing those guys pretty much. This is the one where he scrapes him out to the sideline and makes the play.
Right. You're going to see he's out here at outside linebacker. I've got him circled. And you're going to see his job is to keep contained. And he works and works all the way to the sideline and then makes the tackle.
That's textbook.
That right there, when the college scouts are looking at him, that's what they're looking at. They want to see that.
Kept his feet moving.
That's right.
Kept
arms extended.
Extending the play out. Wouldn't
Strung
let the
him
block
out.
get around him.
That's right.
I mean, that's textbook
that
right
was
there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It really was. And he had 2 other big ones just like that.
Yeah.
He really did.
Big plays for him. Good game. One of Luke's better games, in
Yes.
fact. I can't wait to watch the matchup, to be honest with you, between Luke and Jackson this year.
Yeah.
That's way more even than people think.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he did a good job last year, but this year, I expect him to dominate him. I really do. This is Spraglin, one of the fastest kids on the field.
Right.
This is him running the deep route.
That's
Todd
right.
and I were commenting during the game that we don't know why we don't just throw that play every play. Why not just go deep every play, Coach?
Yeah, well, we go deep pretty regularly. We do, and he's definitely got the ability to do it. And so you're going to see here he's outside. I've got him circled, and we got him singled up on their corner. And so we just let his speed take over. Brandon just drops it right on him, and we score. Excellent play.
Yeah, again, textbook. Looks great. This next one is Dillon Farrell, who was great to have him back in the game. And he's been out his first appearance back, and he's a force on the field. Talk about defenses trying to cover. It was bad enough for them to watch the first 2 games of film. Now they're going to go another one. Mm-hmm. So this is a TD, his first game back.
You bet. Now I've got here on this one, wanted to show, here's Mason out here to the left. The play actually goes through him on this particular progression. So Brandon drops back, and the safeties play really high. You can see I've got the arrow where he's looking to the left. Well, with the read he's been given, he turns back and looks to his second progression, which is Dillon, and finds him, puts the ball on him, and then Dillon's athleticism takes over, gets a good block from Jaden, and he takes it, I think, 51 yards for a score, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
big
fantastic.
Play.
Big play there.
Yes, sir.
And then this next one is back to defense. This is Drawn Choice.
Yes.
And this is a great pass rush.
Exactly. Jerron, he's got the body that you want for an outside linebacker. I've got him circled here. Watch what he does right here on their pass play, where he just destroys.
Oh my gosh,
that running back.
That's child abuse.
Yeah, that guy's having nightmares right there. So he comes in, does a great job of uncoiling on him, and then you see at the back end of it, Kiki Johnson cutting in front of the slant route, tips the ball, and Cody Guidry almost comes up with the interception in the end zone there. So excellent defensive play.
Choice has been running the ball extremely well.
Yes.
He's just a powerful kid.
Big kid. Got good speed. When you've got 200 and something pounds on your side, and you get it moving pretty fast, that's a lot of inertia.
Next play is Jaden Griffin had an opportunity really at
a couple of plays,
2 or 3 interceptions really, and he finally reeled one in. This
got
is
one
that play.
Here. Exactly. Here he is out here at corner closest to us, and they try and go deep on him. He keeps great position. He's behind the guy and is able to haul in the pass, and now we are back on the field on offense.
Yeah, and that was early enough in the game, still important.
Oh, yes.
Still very important at that point. Because remember, they put up 26 points.
Exactly.
At one time,
through the third quarter,
they were still in it.
That's right.
They were within 18 points, I think, something like that. Definitely, doable.
Right.
So they were still in it until late third quarter and on into the fourth quarter, obviously. This next one is Smith, who I think has just done a great job at running back this year. He really has been a stud. But
no doubt. He's fast. He's tough. He knows his assignment. He's a very smart young man. And on this play, it's actually a run-pass option. Mm-hmm. And so you see Brandon here, he's going to make a read. He sees the backers start to bail out, so he hands the ball to Davion, who then takes it the distance for the touchdown. Great block by Amaro Arona, by our guard, Taylor Neely, and then Davion just cuts right through the secondary.
And then once he gets out there, you're not going to catch him.
He's tough to catch.
He is super fast.
He is really
He has
quick.
world-class speed. That's the thing about us. We talk about Atlanta and the speed that Atlanta always has. It's always a track meet. Everybody talks about the track meet between Gilmer.
Right.
But
we've got some guys.
We got some guys with some wheels
we do.
this year. So, and speaking of wheels, this next one, again, back to Spraglin.
Yes.
This was a critical. I say critical because
they could have climbed back in.
They could have climbed back in,
That's right.
and they were trying to score. And was this the one right before halftime?
This one is a little bit later. This is third quarter. But
they're trying to crawl back in this game.
Trying to get up into the 30s at this point.
And they're at the end zone.
That's right.
And this interception in the end zone.
21-yard line. So they're threatening right here. So they're taking a shot into the end zone, and Marche comes from the hash mark and comes all the way across and picks off the pass and runs it out to about the 25 or so. And just really, I would say that was about when things were
momentum shift.
Yeah, when momentum, it just kind of closed the door.
Yeah.
On their comeback. So
this last one was the sophomore Rowan Fluellen. He's had a touchdown in every game, 2 interceptions on the year, so he's playing quite well for a 15-year-old kid.
Exactly.
So this is his TD.
I specifically put this one in. Obviously, it's a touchdown, but this is the same run-pass option as the one we handed to Davion a little earlier. And so on this one, the linebacker plays down, Brandon makes the correct read, makes the throw. So you get to see the same play done 2 different ways. So he makes the fake, throws it to Rowan, and we get the touchdown right there. So big play. Great job by Brandon on the read. Excellent move by Rowan, beating the guy on the move and getting into the end zone.
Well, congratulations. It was a great success. And I know the guys, all the players are excited. The coaches are excited. The energy that's on the sidelines is one thing that we really noticed too. These young coaches are just
they're all
man. They are. Every time we do something good, it's like they're young enough to still jump up in there and fist, chest bump them.
Yeah,
I notice you're like, hey, good
I
job
shake
there.
their hand. Yeah, I'm not
very
trying to
proud
do
of
that.
you, but you keep both feet on the ground. Those
that's
guys
right.
are like launching
they're
themselves.
All into
and that gets it creates
it's
that
a good
energy.
component. That's why it's good to have a good mixture.
It is.
Exactly.
It is. So I'm excited. It seems like, that a lot of pieces are coming together.
Yes, sir.
You got a lot of talent. The kids, like we talked about at the top of this show, attitudes just seem great. They just seem great this year. You have those years where you're like, man, and then you have some years that are like, we're struggling. Right. This just seems like it feels good. You know what I mean? It just feels good.
I agree. And I think it goes back to some of the things we talked about as we started the season. With the way things are in the world, with the way they were out in the spring, they were so excited to get to go play. It brought back an appreciation of things can be taken away.
We almost didn't get to do this.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so they they're not missing the moment. And I think a lot of times we get complacent, and we all do that, and just kind of take things for granted. These guys, they're hungry to play. They're showing over and over how they can be selfless and care about the team more than themselves.
I'm seeing that.
Yeah, Jaden, he had the huge night this night. The week before, it just didn't work out where the ball came to him. Never flinched. And then Friday night, it just came to him.
Yeah.
So they're realizing this is about a we thing instead of a me thing.
Yeah.
And that's big.
And what a great lesson to teach, not to feel entitled.
Correct.
Right? What a great life lesson. So
Absolutely.
you can take a lemon like 2020 has been and make some great lemonade,
That's
which
right.
is what we seem to be doing.
Yes,
So let's
sir.
talk about next week. What's
Okay.
Glendale got for us?
Glendale, very talented. Very talented. They've got a running back that's already committed to D1. Really, you'll see him. It won't take you long to find him on the field. They've got a defensive end that number 4 is a dude. I mean, he's a D1 guy as well. And those two guys, they're kind that jump out at you. And so we've got to really be prepared for the running back on offense. The quarterback throws it well. He runs it well enough. But everything goes through that tailback. Defensively, their defensive front, the defensive end that I mentioned, I mean, he's so athletic. He's probably 6'4", 235, 240, but he also plays outside receiver and catches touchdowns, so he's that talented. But their other D linemen are really good. So, and then they've got a couple of safeties, number 1, number 23, very athletic. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They don't make a lot of mistakes. So, it's going to be a challenge for us. And we like that because that makes us play better. It makes us coach harder.
Yeah.
So we know we're in for a big game.
At least we're at home.
And we're at home. First time we've gotten to do that.
Next 3 games are at home. By the way, if you need to get a ticket, we interviewed Rick
Yes.
at the game the other night at halftime. Tuesday at 8 o'clock they go on sale.
Right, for the public.
There's 1,200 tickets available, but a lot of those are going to go to parents, or 300 or 400 of them probably. So if you want one, I suggest logging on at 7:58 and be there ready to buy because I think they're going to go pretty fast.
Right.
Next 3 games are at home. You will be able to park on the home side, by the way, because they're working on the concrete over here. So you will come through the home side, not the visitor side. That's very important to note. Spread the word. And, of course, social distancing, hoopla, just, like you're supposed to. Be smart. Bring a mask. Last thing we want to do is people sending videos out and us get our season canceled. So please be responsible, regardless of how you feel about the mask situation. Just do it for others, not because of yourself. So, all right, as we conclude the show, this is your last chance to call and rub it in with Jeff. Do you want to? This is your last.
I'm good. If we called him, I just have to congratulate
What is
him.
it with this guy?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I appreciate the offer.
Well, I wanted to put it out there.
Yeah. Thank you anyway.
Yeah, we're glad. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time, folks.
Yes, sir.
We will see you at Gilmer Buckeye Jeff Traylor Stadium on Friday night as Gilmer Buckeyes take on the Lindale Eagles, right?
Yes, sir.
The Eagles. We'll see you there.